Blessed be everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are talking about, is witchcraft right for you? But before we dive into the topic, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com, author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. If you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, magic, tarot and shadow work, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you want to know where to start your witchcraft practice because you're not sure where to actually begin, and how to pace yourself along the way, like what do you need to learn and when do you learn it, take a look at my free masterclass. It is called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice, and there's a link in the description field below this video. There's also links to my courses below this video as well, and anything that you want to find out about how you can learn more about witchcraft, tarot and shadow work, and how you can join the Mystery Witch School Academy. It's all in the description field below this video. But first and foremost, is witchcraft right for you? And once you determine that, then it's a case of, well, what kind of witchcraft am I into? But that's for another video. The first thing is to know whether the craft really is something that is for you or not. A lot of people are attracted to witchcraft and want to maybe learn the craft because it's associated with spell work and doing magic. And so the attraction may simply be doing spells and being able to find ways to make things happen the way you might want to have them happen in the world. And that could be a start, and that could be the initial attraction. But to really walk the witchcraft path, there has to be really more than that. There has to be something a little bit more kind of deeper than that. I know that there are people who are attracted to witchcraft who are also a little afraid of the path. So there's an attraction there, but because of upbringing and beliefs, religious beliefs, they may be afraid of witchcraft, thinking that it's something that goes against maybe their religious beliefs that they grew up with. And so the attraction's there, but the fear is in the way and it's making you hesitate. So that could be something that may have you asking yourself, is this path right for me? I think the easiest way to really gauge if witchcraft is right for you is to understand why you're attracted to it in the first place. What is it about witchcraft that you're drawn to? And just ask yourself that question. What is it about witchcraft, or if it's particularly Wicca, what is it that attracts me to this path? Why am I watching YouTube videos about it? Why am I reading about it? What is it that I'm attracted to? And to write those things down so that you can see them clearly. It might just be the spells and the magic. It might be that something's going on in your life and you're wanting to use a spell or magic, or know a little bit about how you could use magic to change the situation or bring the situation more in tune with what it is that you want. So it may just simply be a need that you have in the moment, or it could simply be something that you've always been interested in but you've never had the time to pursue, or that you're a bit hesitant, or you just don't really know what it is to know whether it's something you want to continue to pursue. So write down what it is about the path so far that you're interested in. And then when you write that down, ask yourself the question again. What is it that I really, really am attracted to from this path? So apart from maybe the answer to the first question, which may be quite surface oriented, go a little bit deeper and ask yourself, what is it that you really, really, really are attracted to? And the answer might bring you down into something that's going to help you understand whether this path is for you or not. Understanding what witchcraft is certainly helpful. So there's so much to witchcraft, and there's so many different styles, and I guess you could say even genres of witchcraft, that it's a case of just diving in and learning all of the different representations of it. There is no one shoe fits all but what witchcraft generally, what all witches have in common, is an interest in magic and generally a practice of magic. So we believe that we are creative beings and that we have the ability to be able to influence events, situations, people even, to have an outcome that we're wanting to have, essentially. So we believe in magic. And we also believe that as creative beings, we have the right to use magic to be able to create the life that we want to create. Now, there's all sorts of different ethics associated with different types of witchcraft, so I'm not going to get into that. That really is a matter for yourself. But you get witches from all parts of the polar spectrum, okay? So you'll get witches who are totally into the magic that is totally benefic, that is not harmful at all, even to the point where they won't even do magic to heal somebody unless they get that person's permission. Right to the other end of the spectrum where you can get, witches who don't have any issues whatsoever with cursing and hexing and doing baneful magic. So as an area of ethics, it's really up to the practitioner as to the ethics. There is no one shoe fits all under the general witchcraft umbrella. You'll get different types of witchcraft or genres of witchcraft that will have more ethics, such as Wicca, for example. The ethic there is to try to harm none as much as is possible, which of course is impossible when you have to survive in 3D reality, because even to live, we have to harm other creatures, such as plants, for example. And plants are creatures too, and we do harm them when we eat them. So there is harm that just is in order to survive. But we try to stay away from or avoid harming as much as we can. And we certainly don't go out of our way to cause harm to anyone, magically speaking. But again, that's just one genre of witchcraft. There's lots of other ways to approach it. It's really a matter for yourself. So the real connection, I think, with a lot of people that I speak to who really gravitate towards the craft is that it is a feeling of who you are, that you are a witch. And that's not just an ego identification. It is that there is a connection deep within yourself, deep within your waters, deep within your soul, deep within your knowing, that you are a creative being who is connected to nature, connected to spirit, and has a right to be here and a right to create here. I feel that when we talk about that connection, that's when we're really hitting home on what we mean by when we say, this is what I am, or this is the feeling of coming home. It's coming home to who we are as in creative, magical, spiritual beings. And that feeling is what we're feeling into when we say that. So if you feel you're a creative being, you feel that you have the right to create, you feel that you are connected in some way to all and everything in nature, and you want to connect more, and you'd like to know how to connect more so that you can really feel into your being, then you're attracted to the craft because you like how we work with nature, work with herbs, work with gemstones, work with the elements, work with animals and plants and in all sorts of different ways, connecting to them, communicating with them, and just being connected to everything here in the physical world, but in a way that goes deeper than our usual materialistic connection. Then witchcraft probably is for you. Now, of course, there's other religions and there's other traditions that do the same thing, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be witchcraft. But if you're attracted to it, if you're watching this video, if you've watched lots of different videos, if you're reading books about it, and you just like the rituals, or you like syncing in with the seasons, you like to work in with the lunar tides, then it probably is for you. And if you're hesitating and asking yourself whether it still is, then what is it that's stopping you from actually stepping into it and trying it? Is it a belief system that you have that witchcraft is evil and bad? Is there a part of you that's conditioned? And this is, a part of our childhood and part of our upbringing. I had to do work on this myself. Is there a belief that if you practice witchcraft, something bad's going to happen to you, that God's going to get upset with you if you're still coming from that monotheistic mindset? Are you still, connected to a religion of your upbringing, such as Christianity, for example, and you don't want to leave that religion, and you feel that by being a witch you somehow can't be both? And so is that something that you're toying with? Because there are Christian witches out there, so it looks like you can be both. And when I first came to the craft, I came from Christianity. So I had a Christian upbringing, I had a Catholic upbringing, then I went a little eclectic with my Christianity. And when I came back, I say came back because I think that a witch is what I've always been, it was a case of transitioning from the Christian paradigm into a more pagan paradigm. And it was simply allowing myself to take that time to transition. The first thing that occurred to me was the realization that the Christian concept of the devil or Satan wasn't real and that it didn't exist, and that was certainly a relief. And then when I had the realization that the God aspect of Christianity wasn't that either, in the sense of the fundamentalist connection with God, and, meaning Daddy God in the sky somewhere, not the more mystical understanding of divinity. That's much more realistic. But I'm talking about the fundamentalist Christian thing of the condemning God that's going to strike you down, fire and brimstone and all that stuff. Realizing that wasn't real too, and that the divine was a much, much broader consciousness, and that there was the masculine and feminine aspects to everything. And so that was something that brought me into still connecting some of the Christian deities, working them within a pagan context at first, until then I started to also then work with other pagan concepts of deity and just working with the god and goddess in general. There was a transition, and it felt very smooth. I never at one time felt that what I was doing was wrong or evil or bad. It felt very right and good. And it didn't conflict at all with my inner Christianity, as in what I really felt Christianity was when I was a Christian. And I think a lot of Christian witches probably do feel that way, that you've come to the realization that there's witchcraft in Christianity anyway, particularly in Catholicism, and that it's just a way of working with magic and working with divinity, just working though with the divinity that's within the Christian pantheon, rather than say divinity that's within a Greek pantheon, for example, or a Roman pantheon or Egyptian pantheon. And so you don't have to give up your Christianity to be a witch necessarily either. So it's just working out, what do you feel really from yourself? What are you feeling in regards to this path? What feels good about it? What feels right about it? What feels you about it? And then just go and explore that. Explore that you-ness that you feel when it comes to the path. And that will guide you. It'll help you know whether that is what you are expressing yourself through in this life. I don't like putting labels on things other than just to describe something for the sake of the ease of language and identifying something, to differentiate it from something else. Because I feel that the ego often likes to grab onto a label, such as the label witch, and then associates a lot of ego stuff to it, rather than sort of saying that it's not so much that you identify as being a witch in the ego sense. It's more that you identify with being what a witch is, which is that creative being that has come here to create. and to connect and reconnect with nature and be one with nature and work with nature. I feel that's really what it is to be a witch, regardless of whether you're a Wiccan or a green witch or whatever. And it all comes down to what we really, really feel deep down inside, draws us to the path and draws us to the craft. Try to keep the ego out of it and just listen to what you're really, really resonating with. And if there's any fear there from your religion that you've grown up in, then to ask yourself, how true is that? You know, is what you're fearing really the truth? Or is it just that you're afraid it might be true? How does it resonate with you? Does it resonate with you as the truth? Or is it just that you're frightened that it might be the truth? That you're frightened you're going to be somehow going to the place called hell that you'd go to if you're practicing witchcraft? Or does that feel real to you? Does it feel true to you? Your inner being, does your inner being agree with that? Or does your inner being go, that doesn't feel real to me, that doesn't feel like love to me, that doesn't feel like a loving universe or a loving spirit, that doesn't feel like that to me? And just asking yourself those hard questions that you're probably not allowed to ask in some of those more fundamentalist versions of religion. When you're not allowed to question anything, you have to just take what they tell you to be true. Question it. Question everything. How does it feel? How does it feel in your very being? And then you'll know that what you're reading about witchcraft, what you're hearing about witchcraft, if you're practicing it or starting to practice it, what you're experiencing as you're practicing it, does it feel real to you? Does it feel true to who you are? And that will give you the answer. So that was probably a little bit of I won't say it was a rant, but I wasn't really following any structure there. I just wanted to bring it out as it came, because I know a lot of people do struggle with this. And that's why the Mystery Witch School exists. It is to give you a way of walking this path once you decide that this is for you, that you can walk this path in a way that starts you at the beginning and gives you a way of developing your knowledge and your experience, and takes you through all of the different practices in a way that is very methodical and very practical, so that you start practicing this to bring you more into alignment with who you really are, who your true being is. And that's what the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy is all about. So if you want to learn Wicca or witchcraft with me, then take a look at the Mystery Witch School 101. It is my 12-month course on eclectic Wicca, and it will guide you through energy work, through connecting to yourself. So there's a little bit of self-inquiry work there. There's also connecting to the lunar energies, to the solar energies, and also to various different deities from different pantheons as well, so that you can get an understanding of what we mean by polytheism, and that it's not the nasty thing that monotheists go on about, that they're just different facets and different representations, different animations as we are, of the divine. So Mystery Witch School 101 Academy in the link below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I am Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.